Why do we always feel busy but see no real results? Have you ever felt like you're working hard, completing dozens of tasks every day, yet not truly moving closer to your big goals? Do you find yourself drowning in to-do lists, calls, and meetings without making a real breakthrough in your life? Most of us believe that success comes from constant productivity, that doing more means achieving more. So we fall into the trap of multitasking, trying to juggle multiple goals at once, thinking we're on the right track. But the shocking truth is that multitasking kills focus and leads to average results instead of extraordinary success. In the book, The One Thing, Gary Keller reveals a secret that sets the most successful people in the world apart. They don't try to do everything. Instead, they focus on just one thing, that small yet powerful action that drives them toward massive success. Stopping the habit of trying to do it all is the real key to progress. Instead of spreading your energy across dozens of tasks, focus on the one thing that can create the biggest impact in your life. When you do, you'll notice how the dominoes start falling one by one, leading you to success faster than you ever imagined. But how do we determine our one thing? That's what we'll uncover in this summary, where we'll explore the book's key principles and how you can apply them to achieve maximum productivity with minimal effort. Are you ready to change your mindset and work smarter instead of just harder? Let's begin. The book The One Thing begins by highlighting a problem that most people suffer from without realizing it. We are always busy, yet we don't make real progress. We believe that the key to productivity is doing more tasks, but the truth is that success is not about how much we accomplish. It's about the quality of what we focus on. This is where the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, comes into play, one of the book's core principles. This principle states that 80% of results come from just 20% of actions. In other words, a small portion of what we do in life is responsible for most of our achievements, while we spend most of our time on tasks that drain our energy without producing tangible results. For example, in business, 80% of profits come from just 20% of customers. In learning, 80% of what we benefit from comes from 20% of the sources we use. In our daily lives, 80% of our happiness comes from 20% of the activities we engage in. This pattern repeats across various areas, proving that most of the effort we exert is unnecessary. Focusing on the vital 20% can bring the same or even better results with less effort. The problem is that most people fall into the trap of focusing on the unimportant 80%, wasting time on emails, unnecessary meetings, and postponing real tasks under the excuse of being busy. This is why some people achieve massive success, while others remain stuck in the same cycle for years without progress. To solve this issue, the book urges us to rethink how we work by focusing only on the tasks that create the greatest impact. But how do we determine our one thing? The author provides a simple yet incredibly powerful question. What is the one thing I can do right now that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This question is the key to discovering true priorities. When you ask yourself this, you will realize that there is one action, if focused on, that will lead to significantly greater results than you ever expected. You don't have to do everything. You just have to do the most important thing. Once you understand and apply this principle, you'll notice how the domino effect starts working in your favor, where one small step leads to a bigger one, pushing you toward success faster than you ever imagined. To achieve maximum productivity, always ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do right now that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This question will redirect your energy toward real priorities instead of distractions. But simply knowing your one thing is not enough. Most people start with enthusiasm but lose momentum after a short time. This is where the power of habits comes in, the true key to making success continuous rather than just a temporary moment. The author explains that success is not the result of big, one-time decisions, but rather the outcome of small, repeated decisions that eventually become habits. Habits shape our lives. So if you want success, you must turn your one thing into a daily habit that you never skip. However, most people mistakenly believe that habits are built through sheer discipline and strong willpower. This is completely wrong. Discipline is only important in the beginning, but it's not what keeps a habit going in the long run. In reality, successful people don't rely on willpower all the time. Instead, they create smart systems that make success easier. For example, If you decide to build a habit of reading daily, you won't need to force yourself each time if you make it part of your routine, such as reading for 10 minutes before bed. Over time, this habit becomes natural, just like brushing your teeth or having coffee in the morning. So, how can you turn your one thing into a strong habit? The book offers 3 key steps. 1. Start small. Don't try to change your entire life overnight. Focus on a simple daily step. If you want to become a writer, don't aim to write a full book immediately. Just write 1 sentence or a paragraph each day. 2. Make the habit clear and easy. The easier it is to practice your habit, the more likely you are to stick with it. If you want to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before, so they're the first thing you see in the morning. 3. Attach the habit to a reward. The brain loves rewards, so pair your habit with something enjoyable. Listen to your favorite music while exercising, or treat yourself to your favorite coffee after completing an important task. By applying these steps, your one thing will no longer be just a goal. It will become part of your daily life, making success inevitable rather than just a possibility. Once a habit becomes part of your routine, the book shifts focus to backward planning, an essential step for achieving sustainable success. Here, Gary Keller introduces a powerful principle. To reach your big goal, you must start by defining the final step first. Sounds strange, right? But when you think about the end goal first, you can take deliberate steps to reach that point. The goal of this approach is to gain clarity about where you want to go and then determine what you need to do to get there. But instead of starting with small, disconnected goals, you should think backward, step by step. In other words, start with the end in mind and work backward to identify each necessary step to reach it. For example, if your ultimate goal is to become an expert in your field, first define exactly what that means. Does it involve writing a book, earning a specific certification, building a strong network of clients? Once you have a clear definition of your goal, identify the steps required to achieve it. Then break those steps into small, actionable daily tasks. However, the process doesn't stop there. The book also emphasizes an important concept about focus. Don't get distracted by secondary steps. As you plan backward, it's easy to fall into the trap of paying attention to unnecessary details that don't actually move you closer to your goal. For example, you might find yourself occupied with rearranging your office or improving its design, tasks that have little direct impact on achieving your one thing. That's why you must ensure that every step you take and every task you focus on directly contributes to your big goal. The best way to stay on track is to continuously ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do right now that will bring me one step closer to my life goal? By doing this, every step you take will be more purposeful and effective. Backward planning also helps reduce the pressure you feel toward your big goal. Instead of viewing it as a distant, overwhelming challenge, breaking it down into small, sequential tasks makes it much more achievable. As you work backward, everything becomes clearer and simpler. In the end, planning this way ensures that every step aligns with your ultimate goal, making success more certain and less stressful. Once you define your goal and broken it into clear steps, the next key principle is the domino effect. This concept explains how a single small action can set off a chain reaction, leading to bigger and bigger successes. It's like tipping over a tiny domino that eventually knocks down much larger pieces, creating a powerful sequence of momentum. In the book, Gary Keller explains that success doesn't come from trying to do everything at once, but rather from focusing on one important thing that leads to bigger results. This idea aligns with the one thing principle, which emphasizes that success comes from identifying and concentrating on that one small step that sets you on the right path. The key takeaway is that prioritizing and focusing on your most important task creates a domino effect, where each small accomplishment increases your chances of achieving your bigger goal. For example, if you dedicate just 30 minutes a day to developing a skill, this short time will gradually improve your ability. Over time, you'll realize that this habit has significantly impacted your professional or personal life. But how can you apply this principle in your daily life? Simply put, when choosing your one thing, make sure it has a multiplier effect, meaning it influences multiple aspects of your life at once. Instead of just focusing on daily tasks, pick the one task that will drive significant progress across several areas. For example, if you're running a business and want to improve performance, identifying key steps that accelerate results can be the game changer. This could be improving team communication or dedicating more time to research and development. Each small step acts as a domino piece, setting off a chain reaction of small successes that ultimately lead to massive achievements. Patience is key. One of the crucial aspects of making the domino effect work is patience. Don't expect results overnight. Just like dominoes, you might not see an immediate impact, but over time, those small, consistent steps will become the foundation for much greater results. Success comes from focusing on one significant step, which then triggers a series of achievements leading to massive success. The more you concentrate on the one thing that creates the biggest impact, the faster and bigger your results will be. Overcoming obstacles. Once you understand the domino effect, the next crucial step in the book is learning how to overcome obstacles that will arise along the way. The path to success isn't always smooth. It's filled with challenges, such as getting distracted by secondary projects, resistance to change, simply feeling overwhelmed. Understanding how to break through these barriers is essential for staying on track and making consistent progress toward your one thing. In this part of the book, Gary Keller explains that the biggest challenge people face in achieving their goals is their inability to stay focused on their one thing for long periods. We all live in a world full of distractions, constant emails, multiple meetings, and sudden urgent tasks. These distractions can easily pull us away from what truly matters. The book offers a simple but powerful solution. Create a barrier that protects you from distractions. This barrier can be as simple as turning off unnecessary apps while working, setting specific non-negotiable time blocks where you focus solely on your priorities. These strategies help keep you on track and prevent outside noise from disrupting your focus. The bigger challenge, internal barriers. However, the biggest challenge is not just external distractions. It's the internal struggles like fear of failure or self-doubt. When you start focusing on your one thing, you might feel anxious about not doing everything else. You may even feel guilty for leaving other tasks unfinished. But the book explains that this guilt is misleading. Our brains are wired to please everyone, but true success comes from focusing on what truly matters, not trying to do everything. How to overcome these obstacles. When facing these challenges, take a step back and remind yourself why your goal is worth the effort. Then, set your priorities based on what aligns with your ultimate objective. Only when you become aware of these internal and external distractions and deal with them consciously will you be able to stay committed to your goals. To overcome obstacles, you need a combination of practical and mental strategies. 1. Eliminate distractions. Set fixed time to work on your one thing without interruptions. Make this time non-negotiable. 2. Resist guilt. Remember that success comes from focusing on what truly matters and everything else can wait. 3. Stay committed to your goal. When challenges arise, remind yourself why you started in the first place and reconnect with the motivation that drives you. The key to success. Overcoming obstacles means blocking out both internal and external distractions. When you do this, you become more capable of staying committed to your mission and focusing on what truly moves you closer to success without falling into the trap of everyday distractions.